In the breath before time, when existence was a silent song, there was only oneness. A singular, radiant light that filled the void with pure, unblemished love. This light knew no shadow, for it was whole, complete, and perfect. It was the source of all that was and all that would ever be. Within this boundless ocean of light, two spirits were born, twins of the same divine essence. They were named Lumina and Umbra, light and shadow, yet in this beginning they were indistinguishable, two halves of a single harmonious soul. Lumina was the embodiment of creation, their touch bringing forth galaxies that bloomed like cosmic flowers. They spun stars into existence and painted nebulae with hues of hope and joy. Lumina's heart was a sun, radiating warmth and life, a constant, unwavering beacon of pure affection for all that was. Their voice was the melody of newborn stars, a symphony of becoming. Umbra, on the other hand, was the spirit of contemplation. Where Lumina created, Umbra gave meaning. They carved the silence between notes, creating the rhythm of the cosmos. They painted the darkness that allowed the stars to shine, giving depth and mystery to the universe. Umbra's heart was a deep, tranquil ocean, reflecting the brilliance of Lumina's creations and pondering their infinite potential. Their voice was the gentle echo in the vastness, a whisper of profound wisdom. Together, they were perfect. Lumina would weave a new constellation, and Umbra would give it a story, a destiny. Lumina would birth a world of vibrant life, and Umbra would grant its creatures the gift of introspection, the capacity for wonder. They danced through eternity, a perfect, inseparable pair, their love for each other the very fabric of reality. There was no good, no evil, only the beautiful interplay of creation and reflection, of being and understanding. But as eons turned, a subtle seed was planted. It was not a seed of malice, but of curiosity. Umbra, in their deep contemplation, began to wonder. What am I without Lumina? What is shadow without light to cast it? This question, born not of pride, but of a search for self, began to create a subtle distance. Umbra started to withdraw into their own thoughts, exploring the depths of their own being, separate from their twin. They wanted to know their own essence, not just as a reflection of Lumina's brilliance, but as a force in their own right. Lumina, feeling the growing space between them, felt a pang of something they had never known before, a sense of loss. Their light, which had always been shared, now felt as though it was shining into a growing void. Why do you pull away, my other half? Lumina would ask, their voice filled with a gentle sorrow. Are we not one? We are one, Umbra would reply, their voice now more distant, more ethereal. But what is the one made of? I must understand my part, my own truth. The more Umbra sought their own identity, the more defined their shadow became. The gentle darkness that once gave stars their beauty began to deepen, to gather into something more substantial. It became a realm of its own, a place of quiet, of solitude, of secrets. One celestial cycle, Lumina created their most magnificent work yet, a small blue-green world teeming with fragile, beautiful life. They poured all their love into it, creating beings with hearts capable of feeling the same profound connection that they once shared with Umbra. They called them humanity. Look, Lumina called out, their voice resonating with joy. Look at what our love has made. They are a reflection of us, Umbra observed from a distance. They saw the light in humanity, the capacity for creation, for joy, for unity. But they also saw something else, something familiar, the potential for a question, the potential for a self, separate from the whole. In humanity, Umbra saw their own yearning mirrored back at them. And for the first time, a new feeling stirred within them, something beyond contemplation. It was envy. Not for Lumina's power, but for the simple, unquestioning love Lumina poured into this new creation. Driven by this new, complex emotion, Umbra descended to the world of humanity. It did not come with malice, but with a gift. You have been given light, Umbra whispered to the first hearts. But light alone does not make you whole. You must know the shadows to truly appreciate the dawn. You must know solitude to treasure connection. You must know choice. And with that whisper, Umbra gave humanity the gift of free will, the gift of asking, "Who am I?" The same question that had set Umbra on their solitary path. With this gift, the world changed. Humanity, once living in simple harmony, now faced choices. The choice to share or to take. The choice to love or to fear. The choice to build or to break. The shadow of pride, of doubt, of separation was born. And the world knew pain, and it knew sorrow. Good and evil were no longer just concepts, but lived realities. Lumina watched in anguish as their beloved creation struggled. They saw war, they saw greed, they saw loneliness. Their heart broke, and for the first time, tears of divine light fell upon the world like rain. "What have you done?" Lumina cried out across the cosmos to Umbra, from the depths of their self-made realm of shadows. Umbra replied, their voice heavy with a sorrow that matched Lumina's. "I have given them what I sought for myself, a choice, a soul that is their own. Is it not a greater love to allow them to choose the light rather than to simply exist within it?" This was the great schism, the moment the two halves of the same soul truly broke apart. Lumina became the symbol of absolute good, of faith, of unconditional love, a beacon for those seeking a return to grace. Umbra, in turn, became seen as the source of evil, the tempter, the origin of sin and suffering. The universe, once a harmonious whole, was now a battleground between light and darkness. But the story does not end there. For even in the deepest shadows, a flicker of light remains. And even in the brightest light, a shadow is cast. They are inseparable. For centuries, humanity has wrestled with this duality. We have reached for the heavens, inspired by Lumina's love, creating art, music, and acts of profound kindness. We have built cathedrals to the light, and we have whispered prayers for salvation and unity. We strive for goodness, for connection, for a return to that original, perfect love. Yet, we also carry Umbra's gift within us. We descend into the depths of our own souls, asking difficult questions. We face our own shadows, our fears, our doubts, our pride. This journey into the dark is often painful. It is where we feel most alone. But it is also where we find our strength, our resilience, our individuality. It is in the darkness that we learn the true value of the light. The greatest saints were often the greatest sinners. The wisest souls are those who have walked through the deepest valleys. Redemption is not about erasing the darkness, but about integrating it. It is about understanding that the shadow is not an enemy to be vanquished, but a part of the self to be understood and embraced. Umbra never sought to destroy Lumina's creation. They sought to complete it, to give it the depth and meaning that only choice can provide. And Lumina, in their infinite love, never truly abandoned humanity to the darkness. Their light is always there, waiting patiently for the moment we choose to turn back towards it. The tale of Lumina and Umbra is not a story of a war between good and evil. It is the story of the soul itself. It is the story of two halves of a whole yearning to be reunited. The journey of humanity is the journey of healing this divine rift within ourselves. It is about learning to hold both the light and the shadow in our hearts, to be both creators and contemplators, to love unconditionally while also honoring the sacred journey of the individual self. Look within your own heart. You will find Lumina there, in your capacity for love, your moments of pure joy, your selfless acts of compassion. And you will find Umbra there in your questions, your silent struggles, your yearning for meaning. They are not at war, they are dancing. They are two halves of your own sacred soul, seeking balance, seeking wholeness. Good and evil are not opposing forces from outside of us. They are the twin potentials born from the same divine spark. The path to rebirth, to true spiritual awakening, is not to choose one and deny the other. It is to recognize that they are two sides of the same eternal coin, and that true holiness is found in the loving integration of them both. For in the end, even the fallen can rise again, for the light is never truly lost. It is only waiting for the shadow to remember its name.